What is up, everybody? Today's video is all about Twilight Cup practice and my wife and I's teams that we're going to take to the tournament. So to start things off, I'm leading off with the Skunktank, and she has Toxicroak, so I'm going to want to get out of there as fast as I can. I switch into Golbat and get a few attacks off, and she does decide to go for her charge move. So she does get this Mud Bomb off, and it was a good thing I didn't shield that because I didn't do very super effective damage. So she brings in Ninetales, and I go for a Shadow Ball, and that was a mistake because Ninetales does actually take super effective damage from poison moves. So now I correct myself and I go for Poison Fangs, and we are going to get Poison Fang off. So we did burn one shield. Now I'm not sure what move she has here, but I'm going to go ahead and hold my shields, and she does do a Dazzling Gleam, so I'm able to get off this last Poison Fang. It's either going to kill her or burn her final shield. So we do knock out Ninetales. Now I still have 2 shields and she has 1, and her Umbreon comes out. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Toxicroak. Now Toxicroak's fast move of counter is going to be doing super effective damage to dark type Pokemon. So I'm going to go ahead and get this Mud Bomb off, and she does shield it, so now she's out of shields, and I'm going to go ahead and use my first shield for Toxicroak because he's going to be doing the most damage to her last 2 Pokemon. So I do get a couple extra taps in here before using my Mud Bomb because I know she has Toxicroak left on her team, and I'm going to be able to get off the first Mud Bomb for the fact that I saved up that energy from before. So there we go. Finish off the round. Good fight. And moving on into the next game. Now in this next match, I'm going to change things up because I do want to see how certain Pokemon perform so I'm able to properly use them when it comes to the tournament. So I'm going to go ahead and take Skunktank out and put Venomoth in as my lead because she did lead with the Toxicroak. I'm going to change out Golbat for a Azumarill because Venomoth will be able to cover Toxicroak. So here we go, just waiting on her to pick her team, and then the match will start. So here we go, leading off with Venomoth, and she's leading with the Muck. So Venomoth versus Muck isn't going to be a very good matchup for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get a couple taps off and then switch out of there and go straight into Toxicroak. Now this is probably going to be a Dark Pulse or a Sludge Wave. It is a Sludge Wave, so I block that. Now she brings in Crobat because she knows it does super effective damage to Toxicroak. I'm going to go ahead and get this Mud Bomb off to either burn a shield or do some damage, and then I'm going to try to see how Toxicroak actually handles a Crobat. So I do get 2 shields out of there. Now she does take down my Toxicroak, but it's good to see how much Crobat can actually do damage to Toxicroak. Now I do have this little glitch where Venomoth won't go away, but that's okay because when she uses her charge move it goes away. So I'm going to go ahead and block this Shadow Ball, and then we're going to go into Ice Beams knowing that she doesn't have any shields left. So Crobat's going to go down. So we know she still has Muck, and now we know she has Toxicroak as her final Pokemon. So I charge up the moves and I switch straight into Venomoth because these quick attacks are going to 3-tap it. You saw how quick that was. She had no chance to react. So we're going to go ahead and just get Poison Fangs off as fast as we can here and try to finish off Alolan Muck with this Venomoth. Now I think she was lagging just a little bit, but to be fair, it wasn't really going to matter because this Venomoth has so many Poison Fangs charged up. So that's game number 2. So well played, but so far, you know, 2-0 against the wife, and that's okay because she's giving me some mean looks. But moving on to the next game, I'm going to go ahead and put Skunktank back in, take out Venomoth, leave Toxicroak in, and then I'm going to go for a non-counter for Toxicroak. So I'm going to have Azumarill as my anchor, and Azumarill does have a counter move, which is going to be Play Rough, which is going to do super effective damage to a Toxicroak. But I'm going to go with Skunktank to start off with, and now my Skunktank does have Poison Jab, which as you can see is doing a lot of damage to Azumarill. Now just to let you guys know, this Azumarill isn't fully powered up, so that's not a real scale of how much damage it's going to be doing, but this Flamethrower to that Toxicroak is a real scale. So Flamethrower from a Skunktank is going to do a lot of damage, a lot of neutral damage to Toxicroak. So go ahead and block that Mud Bomb and get off this final Flamethrower to burn her shield. My Skunktank is actually going to be able to finish off the Toxicroak. Now she brings an Umbreon, which takes out Skunktank right away. I'm going to go straight into Toxicroak. Once again, the counter is doing a lot of work, and I'm going to go ahead and shield this Dark Pulse because I want to keep my Toxicroak as high HP as possible. Do get off this Mud Bomb to burn her final shield, and now I know I'm going to be able to get this Mud Bomb off before she can get her Dark Pulse off because counter is just so overpowered right now. And the last Pokemon is Azumarill. I'm going to go ahead and get this final Mud Bomb off, and that's going to be game number 3. So well played again. And we saw there that Skunktank can actually take on Toxicroak if it doesn't have a shield, or if it decides not to shield, because the fact that Flamethrower is going to do such heavy damage, that doesn't really matter, because Toxicroak is kind of a glass cannon type of Pokemon. I actually did acquire a Qwilfish. Now this Qwilfish I haven't powered up at all, but I just want to see how it actually stands, and this is a great representation. This Alolan Muck is right at the edge of 1500 CP, and you can see how much damage Water Gun is actually doing. Alongside having Aqua Tail, this Qwilfish is a great lead for this Twilight Cup. Go ahead and move into Toxicroak, and Toxicroak's gonna knock out Alolan Muck right away. And she does come in with Crobat, and I'm gonna swap to Venomoth because they both do super effective damage to each other. Gonna go ahead and shield this, and notice I'm winning on the fast attack trades, so I am gonna shield this Shadow Ball from Crobat for the fact that I think Venomoth is gonna win on these quick attack trades. Now take a look at how much damage Venomoth does to this Toxicroak in between Poison Fang. So I'm gonna use a Poison Fang to burn a shield. I'm gonna get a tap in, use a Poison Fang to burn another shield, and he's already at half health, less than half health. I'm gonna do one more quick attack, and there you go, all the health is nearly gone, but I still have a shield, so I'm going to go ahead and block this Mud Bomb. And one tap from Toxicroak, and that's a wrap. So there you saw, with very minimal health, Venomoth was absolutely able to destroy that Toxicroak, and it was able to go toe-to-toe with Crobat and win on quick attacks alone. So in this next match, I'm going to swap a few things up. I think I'm going to go ahead and take out Venomoth for Azumarill, but I'm going to keep Qwilfish in as a lead, and as you see, it's at 1104 CP. So it's still got about 400 CP to go to be maxed out for this Twilight Cup, but it still does a lot of damage. So really excited about what Qwilfish is going to be able to do in this tournament. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring it in on my team. If I do bring it in, it might be in place of Alolan Muck. But here we go, going straight into the fight. Qwilfish versus Toxicroak. Now, we may see a lot of Toxicroak leads when it comes to this tournament, and as you can see, Qwilfish versus the counter Toxicroak is actually going to be able to outperform on just raw damage right here. So she does get me to the yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and burn a shield because I had her burn a shield. So now we're 1 for 1, and I'm going to let my Qwilfish go. But as you see, with an unupgraded Qwilfish, it was actually able to go toe-to-toe with that Toxicroak. So I go ahead and bring in my Toxicroak. So she does bring in Crobat. And I'm going to go ahead and get my Toxicroak out of there and bring in Azumarill because Ice Beam is going to be able to do super effective damage to Crobat. So she does get her charge move off. I'm going to go ahead and shield because I know she does have Sludge Bomb. There we go. That was a good shield. I'm going to go ahead and Ice Beam. And she does have one more shield left. So she's most likely going to shield right here. There we go. Now we're both no shields, and hopefully I can get off this Ice Beam before she gets her Sludge Bomb, and I do get this final Ice Beam off, and that's going to be Crobat down. So she's down to one more Pokemon, and it is Umbreon. So I know right now that my Play Rough is going to do super effective damage to Umbreon, and the fact that I still have Toxicroak with a charged Mud Bomb, I'm not too worried about this match. Because Toxicroak is just going to be able to come in and do a lot of work unless I can get this last Play Rough off, which I do, and there we go, that's the round. So good game again, and that was a really good showcase for Qwilfish because it went against the #1 Pokemon for this tournament damage-wise, which is going to be Toxicroak, and the fact that it does take super effective damage from its Mud Bomb, but if you use one shield with a Qwilfish, your Water Gun is going to do a lot of work into a Toxicroak, and you don't have to automatically swap into a counter right away, which then may put you behind because they could swap into a counter for your Toxicroak counter. So moving on to this next game, I am going to take Qwilfish out as my lead and change things up a little bit. I'm going to lead with an Azumarill. Still have Toxicroak on my team. I think that's going to be very important for this Twilight Cup, is a Toxicroak has to be on the team. And then I'm going to anchor with a Golbat or swap into her Toxicroak with my Golbat if the opportunity arises. So go ahead and lead with Azumarill, and she does lead with Toxicroak. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few quick attacks off, and I know that Azumarill with Play Rough is going to be doing super effective damage, and her Mud Bombs aren't going to do a lot of damage to Azumarill. So Azumarill isn't a complete wall, I would say, but it is a good counter if you shield the Sludge Bombs. So here we go, that was too quick for another Sludge Bomb, so I know it was Mud Bomb, so I wasn't going to shield again. And I do get another Play Rough off, and that does take out Toxicroak. So already the #1 threat on the team is gone, and with Muck coming in, I'm going to swap into Toxicroak and try to just Mud Bomb spam. Now here comes Crobat, so what I'm going to do is swap into Golbat because I do have shield advantage right now, so I'm just going to save up. I'm going to go ahead and block this Shadow Ball, save up and use Shadow Ball myself, and the fact that I have shield advantage means that my Golbat is going to win on these trades. So I do get a Poison Fang off quickly, which is an advantage that Golbat has over Crobat, because Crobat only has access to Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball. So Golbat does go down, but it was so close that it was worth using that one shield. So there we go, I do get the Mud Bomb off, which is going to finish off this Alolan Muck. I hope this video showed you guys how the Pokemon are going to perform in the Twilight Cup versus a lot of the meta that you are going to see. So good luck in your guys' upcoming Twilight Cup.